Well, day one of the Republican National Convention now is in the books. And earlier today in Charlotte, North Carolina, President Trump was officially made the GOP's presidential nominee.
And tonight we're going 360. First with a look back at tonight's moments. Here is Chief Investigator Tony Kovaleski.
These are my friends. These are the incredible workers that helped us so much with the COVID.
The opening 15 minutes focused on the president's response to coronavirus and included an appearance from a Colorado resident.
I'm a police officer in Englewood, Colorado, and I contracted COVID in late March and recovered.
The night's theme, Land of Promise, but it was a night that included several passionate attacks on Democrats and that party's platform.
They want to destroy this country and everything that we have fought for and hold dear. They want to steal your liberty, your freedom. They want to control what you see and think and believe so that they can control how you live.
The two top names on the night, former Ambassador Nikki Haley and the president's son, Donald Trump Jr.
President Trump and Vice President Pence have my support, and America has our promise. We will build on the progress of our past and unlock the promise of our future.
America is the greatest country on earth, but my father's entire worldview revolves around the idea that we can always do even better. Imagine the life you want to have, one with a great job, a beautiful home, a perfect family. You can have it.
Our 360 lens includes a deeper political perspective.
I think the big story tonight is how are Republicans going to pull this off with basically 4 weeks of planning?
Joe St. George is the national political editor for Scripps TV stations.
Clearly, Republicans, Tony, aren't afraid to do this differently. They may have watched the Democratic convention last week, but they're not copy and pasting what the Democrats did. They're going to do this their own way.
Our next perspective comes from the polls. The latest ABC News Washington Post poll shows former Vice President Biden with a 53 to 41% lead over the president among registered voters nationally. And our 360 perspective now turns to history for why that's significant. President Trump becomes only the fourth incumbent president since 1940 to enter a convention trailing by more than a percentage point. Harry Truman in 1948, Gerald Ford in 1976, and Jimmy Carter in 1980 all entered their conventions trailing by a point or more. Truman was the only one to win in November.
It starts by re-electing Donald J. Trump, President of the United States.
Now, critics said night one was far too dark and not uplifting like the Republicans had promised. Supporters are saying the tone was absolutely perfect, appealing to Trump's base, the very base that elected him 4 years ago. And Shannon?
All right, Tony, thank you. And we continue our 360 coverage of the convention with a response from Democrats right here in Colorado.
State Senator Rhonda Fields says it was difficult at times to listen to all the sugarcoating and what she calls misstatements.
There were so many points of not factual information. We got absolutely nothing from that face-to-face visit that Trump had. And so it's just like little nuances like that. It was just a fantasy, their whole projection of what they were telling the American people.
Fields also says she takes issue with the word hope in the Trump campaign. She says the president has only created chaos.